POMPEII, the exhibition, is now starting at the St. Louis Science Center. It's been 6 years since they've been seen here in St. Louis, and it's bigger and better, and this segment is sponsored by the St. Louis Science Center. Joining me is Special Exhibitions Manager, Kaylia Eskew. Welcome so much.
Thank you so much
Glad
for
you're
having
here.
me.
So it's been since 2019.
Yes.
People who saw it then, what can they expect if they come back to see it now?
What's really exciting is that there's been so many discoveries since we hosted in 2019. And because of that, we have a bunch of new objects. In fact, we have over 60 different artifacts that we didn't have in the last time. So we have an expanded area of gladiators. One of my favorite pieces is actually some graffiti.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's cool.
More items that you would find in the homes too, which is really interesting because it's one of my favorite things about POMPEII is that they're really very much like us. You know, this was a community of people going to work as farmers and sailors.
Right.
They bought fast food and bought modular furniture, and they have this really diverse community. So in a lot of ways, it's actually just like St. Louis.
There you go. It is backed by popular demand. People wanted to see this again. And I think it sparks people's curiosity because it was just buried by Mount Vesuvius erupting, and people just wonder what happened. How did that all go down?
Exactly. And you know what's so interesting is what destroyed it is what preserved it, right?
That's a good point.
So Vesuvius erupted and it threw 15 feet of ash and rock on top of the city. By that, you had heat coming afterwards, so it hardened all that rock and ash, and that's why we still have everything. It encased the people, the artifacts, the homes, everything. So you can fast forward 2,000 years later, when we're uncovering it, it's all perfectly preserved as if they were walking around yesterday.
And are they still uncovering new stuff all the time?
It is, yes. So only about 2/3 of POMPEII have actually been excavated at this point. Big point right now is preservation, right? So we want to make sure weather and everything is not taking out what we've currently discovered. Most recently, a new bathhouse was discovered. The Pompeians were very lavish individuals, so they had hot water and cold water bathhouses. So we have now discovered the largest bathhouse in POMPEII.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. How long does the average person spend in this exhibit? Because there's so much to see and take in.
I would recommend that you plan at least an hour. If you're a reader like me, you might go a little bit longer.
I'm a reader.
Yeah, I was going to say.
My kids are always like, you're reading everything. I go, well, somebody wrote it for me to read it.
Exactly. And there's always so much more to learn.
Yes.
And I always encourage the guests to talk to the team working in there because they have so many stories and are so knowledgeable. You'll definitely learn something new.
What's your favorite part of the exhibit?
The newest addition for me is the graffiti. I think it's so fascinating. And Pompeian graffiti actually introduced the world that women were literate in the Roman history. So a lot of times we don't see that, right?
That's true.
But we have graffiti that was written by women, and it's really no different than making a social media update, right? So you'd be like, so-and-so was here. My son was born on this day. You know, it's their version of social media. Absolutely.
That's pretty cool. How can people get tickets to this show?
Absolutely. So you can buy tickets on site or online if you want to plan ahead. Entrance to the St. Louis Science Center is always free. The POMPEII exhibit does have tickets requirements. They start at $15 for a member and then go up from there.
Do they need to make a reservation ahead of time?
You definitely can. Weekdays are going to be a little bit slower. Weekends, you know, you can expect a little bit more crowds, but it's still always a good time no matter when you come.
Hey, go check it out. It is POMPEII, the exhibition. It's new and improved since you saw it last in 2019. So come check it out at the St. Louis Science Center. Thank you so much.
Thank you.